guys missed my cute little cat making an appearance for the first 10 minutes, I'll show you a photo. But yeah, so we're redoing it. So welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. I hope you all doing really, really, really well. I have some stories prepared for us today. I wanted to get back into reading more like cohesive, like theme-fitting stories, and I spent some time the other day and made a few lists of good stories and kind of like scoured and sorted them into a few different projects slash videos I want to do, and I think I have like a 7 or 8 prepared, so I'm highly motivated and I'm really ready. So today we're gonna do family drama. It's literally one of like the most like common themes on this thread, so it was hard to find some good ones. Now sit back, relax. I have my cup of coffee. Get yourself a drink, you know, get cozy, and we'll read these Am I the Asshole stories together and talk a little about them, and we're just gonna have a good time together. I will do some mic scratching throughout this video because, as I said, I said that before, but my cat is a little sick today, and I need to have a bit of an eye on her one ear, so I need to have the door open, and we might get another occasional cat visit because she's usually quite interested in me filming. But if you guys want, I might do another Pure Whispers video soon, or I could even do like different triggers if you wanted, but for now we're doing mic scratching and whispering. Before we get into the first story, just a quick reminder to like and subscribe. I would love to have you in this great little channel, and we're doing an Am I the Asshole Reddit stories video, a long one, every Sunday 9 PM European Central Standard Time, just like Middle European time. Okay, so whatever that equates to for yourself, that's why we're here, and I'd love to have you. So the first story is called Am I the Asshole for Not Giving My Sister My Wife's Clothes? My wife was a corporate lawyer and mediator. She had some very nice work clothes. She was diagnosed with ovarian cancer and was gone in 2 years. The last 6 months of her life were hell. My sister Sarah didn't do jack shit for us during that time. My wife never liked her. I do not like her. She's a selfish cow. At my wife's wake, she started asking about my wife's clothes, and I brushed her off. She wanted to pick out a few pieces to remember my wife by, and I ignored her. It's been 6 months, and I've attended my mom's birthday, but I'm still not in the mood to deal with people. Then Sarah comes asking about my wife's clothes. I told her my wife wanted me to donate them to this woman's shelter. She often helped. It will help women in need with their own court cases, court appointments, and job interviews. My sister Sarah said my wife was even selfish in death. I asked her what the fuck she meant, and she started going off on how my wife always thought she was better than her, and how it's not fair that the clothes are going to charity and not to family. I told my sister I would rather see my wife's clothes lit on fire than on her back. My sister started crying, and my mom came over sister because she was taking my wife's death hard. The fucking insanity of that coming out of my mom's mouth made me grab my gift and leave. My mom acts like I had to ruin her birthday by being melodramatic, but I cannot believe the emotional blackmail towards me over fucking clothes that they have no right to. Am I the asshole? First of all, no, you are not. Definitely not. In no world are you the asshole. I stand by that. That is also the overall Reddit vote, if you're at all wondering. I feel like this is a very, very obvious one. Definitely not. First of all, my condolences. Second, your sister has no right. And that's insane. That's literally insane to ask for the clothes of someone that just passed. Do you not realize that this man, this girl, this woman is grieving the loss of their wife? Especially if the sister-in-law was never close to them. It's just how pretentious and greedy do you want to be? What do you mean her death took you hard? You, white in friends saying that doesn't mean you are not allowed to be upset about someone's death, but it just you're in no way entitled to these clothes. If they were your clothes first and you lent them to her or something, then maybe I would understand that. But no, especially they're literally going to the charity that was near and dear to her, and she literally volunteered for. And listen, whatever claim you think you have to these clothes, it's it's not your, they're not your clothes. And they're not, they don't have to go to you. I'm so angry. I didn't expect to be so angry at 9 AM in the morning. That's quite early for me. That's insane. Surely, also, this is just give them some time to grieve. What are you doing about clothes? Literally. They might be Chanel, but come off it. Actually, the audacity some people have. It's do you not realize you're being ridiculous? Does that thought not cross your mind? I'm genuinely intrigued sometimes with these people. But let's read some of the comments. By the way, my cat joined us again. She's sitting down here in the corner. I might adjust the camera so you can see a little better. Alright, you can just see a little blobbiness down here in the corner, but as I said, she's been sick, so I'm happy she's trying to join us. And is trying to hang out, so I don't want to, shush her out, but I think if she vibes, we're fine. She also served up egg, I'm sorry, but I think she does like ASMR, because I obviously watch a lot of ASMR myself, and sometimes I'm not putting on headphones. I'm just watching them in bed, and she always likes to come join, and I think she likes listening to it, so ASMR cat. Alright, but the top comment, not the asshole, beside the fact that you're following your wife's wishes, your sister's acting like a vulture. And why is your mother worrying about your sister taking your wife's death hard when you're the one who lost their wife? So no, you're doing nothing wrong. You're still grieving, and your sister's treating you like a thrift store, and your mom is being completely ignorant to your grief because another family member is better at being dramatic. Period. Couldn't have said it better. Someone said, not the asshole, it's your wife. How dare as Sarah mentioned it at the funeral, entirely selfish and classless and careless to your pain, and then to bring it up again and say it's to remember your wife by. She doesn't care about your wife and never did, and then to insult your deceased wife by calling her selfish. Your mom is also a problem. Sarah's having a hard time with your wife's death. Really? Not you, the husband. I'm sorry, but your sister and your mom suck. You should evaluate why they're in your life and if they deserve to be. Yeah, listen, we haven't talked about the mom yet. Like, it's so true. Like, people should be more worried about how Abby's feeling, because they have just lost their wife to a very traumatizing experience. If they're saying that the last 6 months were very hard. But yeah, you know, I think we can chat more about it, but in the end, I think not the asshole, and it's like really, really obvious. Really obvious. I'm like intrigued. Do you guys think different? Is there any, like, you know, do you have anything to like play devil's advocate? I love playing devil's advocate, but in this case, I can just not, you know. But let's continue for now. The next story is called Am I the Asshole for Laughing in My Cousin's Face when She Tried to Stage an Intervention for My Drug Use? I, 27 male, have a condition which causes me to overproduce earwax. I don't tell people about it because I was bullied for it growing up. Only my wife and my parents know. Every other day I have to put medication in each ear, let it set, and then flush it out with a rubber-tipped syringe. This prevents ear infections, vertigo, permanent hearing loss, and worsening of my tinnitus. I've dealt with all of these things to some extent, so I stay on top of my eardrop regimen. If my alarm goes off when I'm with others, I go to the bathroom for 20 minutes and knock it out. If I don't follow my schedule, I forget, so I can't put it off. 2 weeks ago, my mum hosted a family dinner. My cousin, Cara, 37 female, saw me waltz off to the bathroom to do my thing, syringe in hand, and asked what I was doing. I said, just a minor medical thing. She kept pushing, but I didn't want to say anything because she gossips. I told her it's personal and scooted past. When I left, she was standing in the hallway. She asked what took so long and why the toilet didn't flush. I said it was none of her business. She said she didn't mean to offend. Last week, my friend called me to invite me out to lunch with some buddies. He said to meet up at his house so we wouldn't have to drive separately. I arrived at his house to find Cara and my friends sit solemnly on my couch. Cara said they were here to talk about my problem and that they just wanted to help. I said there is no problem. Suddenly it clicked in my head what this was all about. I couldn't help but laugh a little out of shock. She asked me what was so funny, and I said, first of all, why didn't you talk to my wife or my parents? She said she didn't want to involve my enablers, which just made me laugh harder. She looked annoyed and said she was done trying to help. I said that's alright by me, and she stormed out. I explained to my friends. They knew I have a condition, but never pressed me on it. I guess when Cara approached them, they thought I was lying. Obviously, I'd rather they know than me worrying about me being an addict when I'm not. I thank them for their support anyways. Cara had apparently reached out to all my friends through my social media. We all got a good hearty laugh out of it, which Cara must have had because she was, of course, eavesdropping. She burst back in and told me to tell them the truth, to which I said I did. My friend kicked it out. We went for lunch and I thought that was that. My mom called me yesterday and told me she had talked to Kara about the whole thing and explained. She said Kara was very upset with me and essentially called me an asshole for not explaining and laughing in her face and embarrassing her. I said I was embarrassed and that Kara had no right to my info. I think she should go. I think she shouldn't go around snooping and making assumptions. My mom still thinks I should apologize. ETA, she didn't see my alarm go off, just ran into me on her way from the kitchen. My alarm isn't for dinner time, it's 9:15 p.m. and I do it at home most of the time. Am I the asshole? Okay, I'll be upfront and tell you that the overall vote on this thread was not the asshole. And listen, I'm kinda, like, I'm torn here. I don't think he's the asshole per se, but like, I'm really torn. I think I wouldn't be able to make a decision there, because I have two things to say. Okay, so one, Kara, like, really, if I would see someone going into a toilet with a needle and then spending 20 minutes there and being sus about it, I would kind of be like, hold on, you know. But listen, that's kind of the thing where I'm like, maybe it was genuine worry about someone, but then she goes on in social media and scours it for his friends and then reaches out to his friends and makes them do like an intervention. Listen, that's crazy to me. Listen, realistically you would, and you definitely should go to the partner and the mom and like close confidence that, you know, aren't friends and stuff, because like you're literally blaring something out, putting someone on full blast for what? It just really seems like she wanted the attention from it and she wanted to be in on this like crazy plot uncovering her cousin's drug addiction or whatever. All seems a little insane to me. But then listen, on the other side, I feel like I would have an understanding for people being concerned about me if I walk around with a syringe. Now, I also really get that it's a medical condition that's kind of a little personal and you don't want to share that with everyone. That's why I'm like torn. Like, I do 100% understand that, but like, listen, if my cousin saw me walk around with a syringe and then would like, you know, genuinely come up and ask me, I feel like I wouldn't be this defensive. But I don't know what that person went through, you know. I don't know how unwilling to share he is. I mean, he did say he only shared it with his parents and his wife, so I guess he doesn't really like to talk about it, which, you know, I completely understand, and she's in no way entitled at all to this information. So, like, really, I'm like slightly torn. Maybe he didn't have to be as mean about it when realizing she made this like full intervention with your friends. Like, really, I do feel like it was a bit callous and she kind of deserved what was coming also yeah, it's a bit delicate of a situation, but that's also rude, you know. Our top comment is, not the asshole, she owes you a major apology as her spreading untrue information about a possible drug addiction could have caused you to be harmed. What if somebody shared this information with your employer? Depending on your profession and your employer, you could have been suspended or lost your job. And someone said under that, I don't know any drug addicts that have it on a daily timer. They just tend to follow their hearts on that particular issue. And yeah, but he did say she didn't hear the timer go off. So, you know. The next comment was, not the asshole, rather obviously. I'll refrain from waxing poetic, but you have every right to be irritated about someone prying into a medical condition that you prefer to keep private. Hilarious. Listen, I mean, you know, I'm not sure, because really, they jumped on the chance to blast their medical condition all over Reddit. Yeah, it's personal and stuff, but I'm so torn, because really your medical condition should belong to you, and it's your complete body autonomy to decide to share that with anyone. I just think the nicer thing to do would have been to maybe share. But that's me saying that as someone who has never had that serious of a condition that I didn't want to share about, you know. But let's keep going to the next story, because we spent a lot of time on this one. The next story is called, Am I the asshole for making my oldest pay back a $3,000 dress she ruined? My oldest, Bethany, 16, has a step sibling, Maria, 14, almost 15. Bethany and I are white, while my husband and Maria are Mexican descent. They have been in each other's lives since they were 6 and 7, and overall the relationship is good. Until recently, Maria's quinceañera is coming up, and my husband and his ex-wife took her to get her dress. The dress and the alterations came to around $3,000. My daughter has been very jealous of the whole party. I've informed her it is part of the culture, just like when she had a huge Sweet 16 party with her friends. I spent more time with her to try to make her feel better about it, and got her a much cheaper dress for the party. The party is supposed to be in 2 weeks, but my daughter, after an argument with Maria about the TV, she scribbled Sharpie all over the expensive dress and ripped at the back. The short story, everyone was pissed. I gave money to my husband and his ex to try to get a new dress ASAP. I informed my daughter she will need to get a job and pay back the full price of the dress as a punishment. We got in a huge argument about it, and the whole situation isn't fair that I'm choosing Maria and being a huge jerk. Am I being a huge jerk? Yeah, the story was kind of all over the place, but I think we got the gist, and truly not the asshole. It's just correct parenting and making sure your daughter doesn't grow up absolutely entitled. Yeah, yes, that is gonna hurt her, and this is a tough lesson to learn, but it is a lesson she has to learn, or else she's just gonna do it again. She's just gonna screw on extras the next time the younger daughter isn't gonna share chips or something. First up, she needs to control her emotions better, because destroying other people's property every time she gets upset about the TV channels isn't going to get her very far in life. And secondly, she needs to learn responsibility, and I think this is a great way to teach her. Also, I love that the mother, explains the whole quinceañera thing. It's something I don't personally know too much about. I just get the occasional TikTok videos about it, and it looks great. If you have no idea, I think there's this huge birthday party that is thrown in Mexican culture when the girl is turning 15, right? Yes, quinceañera. Quince is like 5, I think. And it's just, yeah, it's a huge party, and they're wearing like these super puffy, big, glittery dresses. A lot of them were white, I think. I'm not sure if white is like the color to go to, but as I said, I'm not, like, I don't know. But it's this huge party, they're really excited about it. They should be really excited about it, you know. And it's a really special thing for them. It is a little crazy to me that they spent 3,000 euros on a dress. But hey, I think, you know, it is a very, very big thing. And I've heard a lot about it, so the fact that I know about it means that it's quite a big thing and quite important, you know. So the top comment is, not the asshole, quinceañera dresses aren't cheap and your daughter's old enough to know better. Exactly. What is she? She's 16, right? Yeah, like, listen, when you're 16, I mean, I get it that you're rebelling, but that's just rude. Also, like, come on, I know she's young and impulsive, but ruining your sister's, like, dress that she really wanted over the TV channel is just so callous to me, like, psychopathic. Listen. Another comment is, not the asshole, Bethany deliberately ruined a dress, she has to pay for it. If she had done this to a total stranger, would she claim you're choosing the stranger? If Mary had one of her dresses, would she just let it go? Bethany is very close to becoming an adult. It is time she realizes that comes with responsibilities. Yes. Amen. I couldn't have said it better. Now I think that was very straightforward. That was very clear. Let's move on to the next story. Okay, the next story is called Am I the Asshole for Telling My Husband He is Too Broke to Be Sexist? So, my husband comes from a traditional family. Mum is a stay-at-home mum. Father was a sole provider. I come from the opposite. My mother pretty much forbade from ever being financially dependent on a man and drilled that into me early on. My husband worked hard to learn the values he saw replicated, worked hard to unlearn the values he saw replicated at home. He often more than pulled his weight at home, was an engaged and present father and a genuine partner. The one thing that grinds my gears is how much weight he puts on the opinions of his family. I get that we all want our parents to be proud of us, but this is too much. My in-laws are staying with us for 2 weeks. Our usual MO is I prep breakfast. We all eat lunch at work/school, and my husband makes dinner. We have a cleaner, but she's on holiday, so in the meantime we're DIYing the cleaning where it's down to everyone to keep their space clean, and common spaces we all clean. This is how we've always done it, and it works. My in-laws hate that I'm one of those modern women. They hate that I work, they hate that I don't find my purpose on being a wife and mother, and they hate that my husband pulls his weight at home. We spoke pretty frankly early on, where I established my boundaries and told them I won't be chased about how I live my life in my home. When I'm a guest in their home, I accommodate their ways and play the daughter-in-law they wish I was. They have for the most part respected this. I got home yesterday after work and was starving. I typically get home at 6:15 to 6:30 and we eat at 7. They're definitely European because they're using like 18, 15 and 19. I said quick hellos and ran up to pre-dinner shower. When I came down, I went to the kitchen to help set up for dinner and found nothing ready here. I asked my husband about it, but he wouldn't look answered that he hadn't cooked anything. She told me I needed to do my duties as a wife and cook for my family. Okay, my coward of a husband still wasn't looking at me. I just walked away and ordered takeaway. I dished up for me and my kids, and we sat at the table to eat. My husband and his parents served themselves and joined us. My mother-in-law was still going on about what was wrong with me and why I was a failure. I asked my husband if he had anything to say. Listen. He said his mother had a point, and it wouldn't hurt if I acted more like a proper woman and took better care of my home and children. He said a tradition was tradition for a reason, and it was kind of insulting that I thought I was too good for how he was raised. This is where I might be the asshole. I told him tradition won't allow a man on 35k to support a family of 5, and he was too broke to be sexist. He looked hurt, and also I saw tears welling in his eyes. He excused himself from the table. I regret saying this in front of our children, but him saying that to me after I am busting my ass to clean up his mess on top of having to deal with his parents was too much for me. Am I the asshole? I have no words. Listen, if this was my man, he would be out the house quicker than he could say stay at home mom. I swear I would not have this man's shit. That is ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Like, that is just straight up ridiculous. This man. She should act more like a proper woman. Listen, I don't know what God you believe in, but I personally think if God wanted us to be fucking cleaning devices, he would have given us brooms as Pete or whatever. Cause listen, oh my god, this is grating my nerves. Listen, I'm not your walking cleaner. I'm not your walking. I'm gonna have sex with you at night, and during the day you cook me dinner, and you're cleaning my mess up. Like, hell no. Like, listen, this is something that gets me pretty riled up if people say that. Because I think, okay, and this is a hot take, because I know some religions really heavily believe that, but religion saying that women belong to the kitchen and belong cleaning is just absolutely preposterous. I hate that. Because listen, if your God, whatever God you believe in, I know like Christianity and stuff is also really big on that. Like, whatever you believe in, and you genuinely believe it has been said by your God that women should be worthless and should stay in a kitchen and be commanded to every man's wish. Like, this is just, it's straight up bullshit. And tradition, okay, tradition can suck my ass, okay, like, but forcing your beliefs that are, I'm sorry, excuse my language, completely delusional on someone else and trying to make them fit in a box that isn't their box, that isn't their own free will. It's just absolutely ridiculous, and you should be so fucking ashamed of yourself. Like, put your head in sand and don't pull it out, okay? Like, no, like, you don't deserve to have an opinion on other people, okay? Like, literally, fuck this man. Like, get out of here. I cannot imagine sitting there and having to hear that bullshit come out of this grown child, man. I would be so done. Listen, I would have taken my kids, I would have gone to McDonald's, and we'd be done with this, okay? Are you the asshole? No, I believe not. And I love the audacity, okay? This man makes 35k. Like a month, or like, how do you think this is gonna work here, okay? Me and my boyfriend, we support a family of 5. Like, have you ever thought of sending them to college or whatever? No, surely not, because probably they're girls and you just think they should belong in the kitchen. Like, if you want to be sexist then and traditional, then at least recognize that your role in this tradition is to being the sole provider of this family, and then you really need to pull your weight there. Stop that shit. Stop that shit. Oh, that rounds me so hard. Listen, he is also a huge mummy's boy, because he's too chicken to say this shit when mummy isn't there to back him up. And then she's there and he's spewing that shit. She should take better care of my home and my children. Sir, your children, your children, your children. Like, watch me, how you never ever see them again. The asshole. I think we're very, very clear on who the asshole is here. The Roid is also not the asshole, and they put the poo mode on, which I don't fully understand, but I think it's if like a thread gets too many like comments that are like really out there, like angry like me, then they lock it and only like people who have like really good rating standing, I don't know, say something. Whatever, I see now why that was on, because I'm enraged. Comment is, sucks the kids were there for it, but he deserves worse, not the asshole. Should have only ordered enough food for you and the kids. See, that's what I'm saying, you should have left. Next comment is, not the asshole, your husband was indeed a coward. He's been willing to participate in your marriage all along and has gamely contributed to the agreement you have that works for you both. It was incredibly hurtful of him to not uphold to his own decisions nor defend his wonderful partner of a wife to his parents. When the shit hit the fan, he failed to hold up, and that's a really sad realization for you. What you said might have been hurtful and cutting, but it was the truth and came out because he said, also in front of your children, that you weren't a proper woman. You weren't a proper woman and didn't take adequate care of your home and children. Frankly, he needs to hear it. How can he think you should be more or better with all that you're already doing? Does he think it's really a valid opinion for you to just drop your work and career to be a homemaker? And how does he think that's going to go for your family? It's absurdly impractical and makes him look like an imbecile to think it has merit. Hate to fall into all Reddit tropes, but it's gonna be therapy or divorce time. No, definitely to the therapy route, because it sounds like he's like 85% bought in and working on being a better person, but that 15% read its head when his parents came around, which might mean you need some firm boundaries against his parents. It's sickening that they abused their influence over him and used their time with him alone to turn him against you. If it were me, they would not be welcome in my home ever again, and I'd seriously consider limiting their access to the grandkids as well, because they are poisonous against you. Okay, I've been trying to go through their post history here, but I can't find them like saying anything about I can't find any further comments or anything, so unfortunately I think that is as much as we're gonna get from this story today, which is a bit annoying. I was hoping we get a comment of them maybe saying us if she divorced him or not. But listen, I think I would take my kids very, very far from these grandparents. I would probably go so far as to not allow them to see my kids anymore, unfortunately. And, you know, I think I would have a really, really hard time, personally, forgiving my partner after that. I would be very, very mad. So, yeah, I don't know. Definitely not the asshole though. I'm sorry for the rage we've shown here. It's just a is from Germany. We've lived in Canada for a long time, but because of inflation, moved back to Germany because it seemed like a better option for us. We bought a nice house in Hanover, where Peter is from. The day after our flights to Germany, we all visited Peter's family. This was the second time I've seen them. The first was at our wedding. They greeted us and brought us inside of the house, fussing over my son. We had dinner and soon we left the house, wanting to settle into our new home. We visited Peter's family often for the next few months, but I had started to realize that they would sometimes speak about me in German. They would make rude comments about my hand makeup, question my fashion choices, and overall were just very unkind to me. They also said mean things about my pregnant belly, which I was already insecure about. They would make rude comments on my hand makeup, question my fashion choices, and overall were just very unkind to me. They also said mean things about my pregnant belly, which I was already insecure about. I ended up talking to my husband about this. I told him that I didn't like the way that they were treating me. I said I hated how my every choice was judged. He told me that he would talk to his family. The next time we went to his parents' house, there were no more mean comments. For about 3 months, it was like nothing ever happened. I gave birth to a perfect little baby that we named Lilith. Peter's family was very upset when they heard their name. If you didn't know, Lilith means ghost or of the night. We didn't pick the name because of its meaning, but because it is the name that every girl in my family has had for many years. My middle name is Lilith, along with my mom's, my grandma's, and even my great-grandma's. For a little while, I didn't visit my in-laws. I didn't want to hear them talk about how I shouldn't have named my daughter Lilith. But yesterday, we saw them again. It was my mother-in-law's birthday. As soon as we showed up, things started to go badly. Everyone wanted to hold Lilith, which made my mother-in-law upset because people weren't paying attention to her, and it made me overwhelmed. I didn't want people holding her. I was going through pretty bad postpartum depression, and it was still pretty early to see people. I let people look at her, but declined when anyone asked to hold her. During dinner, I heard my sister-in-law talk to my mother-in-law in German. I heard her complaining about how she couldn't hold my baby. My sister-in-law even had the audacity to call me, and I quote, a fat, ugly hockey addict. I turned to my sister-in-law and mother-in-law and told them off in German. I basically that I have always known what they have said about me, but calling me names was the last straw. I also mentioned how I've known German for almost my whole life. The table instantly blew up. People were yelling at me because apparently this was all my fault. I left with Peter and we haven't talked to them since, so am I the asshole? No, she's not the asshole. Listen, if that family would have made enough of an effort to ask her about herself, then they would have known that she speaks German. I'm German myself, and my old boyfriend's family knows I'm German, and I speak German, and my boyfriend is Australian, and understands a bit of German, and my family literally talks German to him, so that's very weird to me. They're definitely assholes, like that family. Making fun of baby names, seriously, seriously, and then saying such mean things, that's genuinely rude, and you're a shitty person if you do that. I would never see them ever again in my entire life. I would be like, bye, back to Canada. Yeah, top comment is, not the asshole. Assholes are never wrong. They remain assholes by refusing to ever take ownership of their own words or actions, so they never have to change. It can be as but you married into a family of assholes. Yes, she did. And you're living in Germany. Do you really think you would learn the language of the country where you live? They've been extremely rude to you and about you. You're definitely not the asshole. I think your husband needed to grow a shiny spine as soon as they started and should have told him off instantly, so he's a bit of an asshole, or at least a total wuss. See, I feel like from what she said, she didn't mention if he was like backing her up or not. I kind of got the vibe that he was, but at the same time just more like quiet support, as in, you know, talking to his family in private and going home with her and not seeing them. But I really wish he would have stood up and like yelled at them. That's the drama I want to see, you know. I feel like it's what should have happened, but it's better than nothing happening, okay? I feel like I'm okay here. And like, goodbye these in-laws. Like, yeah, seeing little Lilith. I can't say that name, it's like too much for my non-native English little tongue. But it's such a cute name. I love the name actually. It's really, really cute. So I don't know what their problem is. Really, you can just call her Lily for short. I mean, it's so cute, really. But like, you know, she'll be a ghost to you. I technically have 2 more stories. I'm gonna see how I'm gonna go after this one because my throat is starting to get a little bit sore. But we'll see. Okay, but the next story is called Am I the Asshole of Uninviting 25 Family Members to My Wedding 6 months to Showtime? I've had this Halloween wedding planned for 2 years. The venue I wanted has a wait list. All of a sudden my mom and grandma decided the wedding was satanic and wanted me to make last minute changes. I told my mom and grandma a firm no. 2 years my family has known about this, and because I've told them, now half my mom's sister's side thought they would be cute and say they aren't coming to a random ass power struggle. I told them fine and cancelled everyone's invitation who complained or backed my mom or grandma on this. My sisters acted like she stepped out of my bridesmaid's duty, so I revised her. It was about 25 people that decided to act stupid at less than 6 weeks mark. So I sent out uninvited invitation and sent out new QR codes for those attending, and the venue will check in only those to let people in. You get the point. My aunt, who is one of the uninvited, told me people are allowed to disagree with me, and that doesn't mean I can pull an invitation from the wedding they've made plans to attend. I told my aunt they had 2 years for complaints, but saying you're not going at 6 weeks before my wedding is bullshit, and everyone fucked around and found out. My mailman just scared the living shits out of me, and now I don't have any idea where I currently was. What was I saying? I completely lost it. Okay, anyway, but I'm definitely like not the asshole. I love that she's standing up for herself and like standing her ground. Really, if this was 2 years in the planning, fun as wedding because it sounds ridiculously cool. Genuinely, people are such shitheads. Imagine pulling back like your RSVP to a wedding 6 weeks in advance. Like, honey, no. Then stay away, stay away, stay away. I don't need you there. Leave. Out of my life. We're done. Alright, let's really quickly do the last story here, because I'm motivated, because I think it's cool. The final story for today is, am I the asshole for abandoning my parents on an island in the Caribbean so I could get back to our cruise in time? I graduated from high school back in December. As a gift, my parents got me a cruise. It was also for my 18th birthday. It was also a family vacation. We usually stay at an all-inclusive resort, but I had always wanted to go on a cruise. I told my parents it was different and that if we went on a cruise, we had to follow the schedule no matter what. Well, it was a week-long cruise, and they would not head back to the ship when I said it was time to go. They were busy shopping and bargaining with the locals. I finally said that I was heading back to the ship. My mom waved me off. They missed their departure by a lot, like 45 minutes. They got a hold of me through WhatsApp. They wanted to know why I didn't get the boat to wait for them. Oh honey, you're sweet, sweet soul. I wanted to scream that they were not going to inconvenience 3,998 people because 2 could not understand what a schedule was. Listen, they ended up having to fly from the next port from there, and it was expensive. They are pissed at me for leaving them behind. I don't know what I was supposed to do. They literally told me that they knew what they were doing. I wish I had never asked for this. They are making me miserable because I left without them. Like, surely this is a shitpost. Like, because why does a kid have to parent the parents? What's going on here? How can you be so delusional and think the cruise is going to wait for you? Like, honey, no. Have you ever been on a flight? Have you ever caught a train or bus? What happens if you show up for your train 45 minutes late? It's gone. I'm sorry to tell you, but it's gone. Earth does not revolve around you. Sorry, but like, I cannot deal with stupid, entitled people. I'm like so thankful that I don't work in customer service, because literally, I think I'm not made for this. I could not. Imagine being so entitled. Did you think 4,000 people, a ship, their schedule, the entire port, all other ships that rely on this schedule are gonna wait for you 45 minutes because you're too dumb to read the time and you want to do some shopping? Listen, this is a very tough lesson to learn about life, and I hope they learned it. I hope they learned it. Oh god. Okay, the top comment is, not the asshole. They seriously think the ship will delay for 45 minutes. Yeah, no. The dogs and ships have a schedule to keep. They're adults and need to be responsible for getting back on time, which is something you have figured out in less than 6 months of being an adult. At least you don't have to go on any more vacations with them after this. The next comment is, not the assholes. Not the asshole. Your parents are acting entitled. Tell them you save them the expense of their ticket to the next port. Literally that. Like, what were they? They didn't say. fault and they do not accept responsibility for what happened. And it literally fits so well with these parents as well. Like, young grown-ups, seriously, you cannot be delusional enough for this. I can't. Also, I've been to multiple cruises, because my parents really like to do them with us when we were younger. Because the cruise we went on, like kids under 14, maybe 12, were free. So, you know, the just only had to pay for a family cabin for two. And then we were like free, so it was a really good deal. And like, listen, that means I was a tiny baby, okay? And I vividly remember, you know, the multiple announcements they have before you off board, that you have to be at this back at this certain time or they will leave without you. And if I remember correctly, they have like a boarding time where you have to board onto the ship back before takeoff, and it does also close like 15 minutes before takeoff. And then if you're not on, you're not on. Like, see us at the next board, because at least the cruise I was on, you had to go through like security scanners to get on the boat. So if everyone was like logging in, you'd have to kind of wait for a little bit, and you know, they made sure to not delay the takeoff of the boat. So I think some ships even like call you up like before, if you're not back 30 minutes before leaving, and it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous if a literal, just barely legal adult has more common sense and is more of an adult than you are. Like, that's just wild. So, I mean, definitely not the asshole, I suppose.